Yeah. Hey, Dan.
Well, yeah.
You can say it's still as well. It's very frustrating. They're hoping. Considering.
It was,
Yeah.
But I didn't know what was for me. When I saw that, she said.
Nobody here today, I'm the only person to take one.
I know, well, we have another meeting going on the other side, like.
That's what they are. I see here, so the last one right here, they got heard it. Crazy, you know,
Kathy, what I said.
Over there. Rachel's all this kind of stuff. That's what. Teach them. We gotta go on to
You don't have anybody on your mom. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Calls meeting order, regular scheduled meeting. Kentucky Indiana Regional Planning and Development Agency on today's date, Thursday, October 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m. So, Jared, you go ahead and proceed with the roll call, please.
Absolutely. Mr. Kevin Beatty. Honorable Scott Bates. Here. Honorable John Black. Honorable Bernard Bolin. Here. Honorable Byron Chapman. Honorable Jack Kaufman.
Here.
Mr. Jack Couch. Honorable Troy Eppington. Mr. Chris John Streets for the Honorable Jeff Gahan. Honorable Nicole George for the Honorable Craig Greenberg. Mr. Keith Griffey. Here. Honorable Treva Hodges. Honorable Dan Ison. Here. Honorable Maria Johnson. Honorable Mike Moore. Honorable John Ogburn. Here. Honorable Carol Pike.
Here.
Honorable Jason Sharp. Honorable Jerry Summers.
Here.
Honorable Jim Travis.
Here.
Honorable Katie Stone for the Honorable Scott Travis.
Here.
And the Honorable Dave Vogel.
Here.
Thank you, Judge. We do have a quorum. Thank you all for being here today.
Great. All right. Thank you all very much for attending, and those that are online, we appreciate your attendance and participation. So I hope you all enjoy this beautiful fall day and have a chance to enjoy this weekend coming up. So we'll go ahead and proceed with the first item on our agenda, which is the approval of the September board meeting minutes. Hopefully you had a chance to take a look at those, and if there are no additions or corrections, I'll entertain a motion to approve. A motion to approve, second motion second. Any other questions? If none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. The minutes are approved for September. Next, we have our September financial statements from Ms. Shaw.
Okay. I'm starting on page 21. And this is the graph, but the financials are on the first page and the graph is on the second page, but I'm gonna be reading from the graph. And the CED spend is 219,072. And so we spent 7.67%. Our transportation spend is 923,116 at 18.64%. And then our Department of Social Services is 9,361,433 for a spend of 24.31%. And then we have our other operating, 4,309 at 1.85%. And our overall total spend is 10,582,895. Next page, we're going to go to page 28. This is our agency-wide actual to budget comparison. And so the first bar is showing what we currently spend in the month of September. So that's 4,075,626. Our year-to-date spend is 10,942,894. And the last column is showing our budget. And we have spent, these are revenues. 23.51% of our revenue we have collected so far. This is our spend. 3,905,595. We have a year-to-date of 10,582,895. And as I said, the last column is our budget. And we have spent 22.73% so far. Next page is 32. This is our graphs of our balance sheet. Our total cash is 4,632,646 at 24%. Total receivables is 2,101,398 at 11%. And our total other assets is 2,938,027 at 15%. And then our total liabilities and projects are 9,660,424 at 50%. Do we have any questions?
Any questions? If not, entertain a motion to accept the financial statement.
So moved.
Second? Okay. Any other questions? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you very much, Ms. Shaw.
Thank you.
All right. We have this departmental.
He is not here yet, so.
Not here yet.
Move and then-
We'll skip item number 6. Our speaker has not arrived yet. So we'll move on to item number 7, Transportation Policy Committee. Mr. Rush.
Good afternoon. The KIPDA Transportation Policy Committee met here in this room at 12:30 this afternoon, so I'll give a summary of our meeting and highlights. One of the first things we talked about was our planning memorandum of agreement. That's a contract or an MOA that is between KIPDA, KYTC, NDOT, and TARC that defines some of the responsibilities of our agencies. We update that thing periodically, and so we sought the TPC's approval today for that. Those changes were relatively simple but important. It reflected the new urbanized area that does not include a little bit of Harrison County, Indiana. It reflected some of the language that federal government does not want to see in some of our documentation, including the terms of environmental justice and a couple other things. It also took out some of the old highway bills that were named by name, so we've got it generically in there, so we limit our updates in the future, so that was approved by the TPC, and now it will be sent out to those agencies in short order. There were a couple phase shifts, projects that needed to move from fiscal 25 to fiscal 26. No cause for alarm for those projects. Those were pretty minor phase shifts due to some extenuating circumstances. In Kentucky, KYTC submitted back to us what's known as adjustments to the roadways functional classification. So in the 3 urban counties, KIPDA submitted through consultation with the parties in Jefferson County, Bullitt County, and Oldham County in the springtime. We submitted something early this summer to KYTC and that both, and KYTC got back to us and they said, you didn't change enough of them, you should change more, is basically what they told us. And so there was, I think, another 60 changes to the roadway functional classification. That's the hierarchical classification of the roads, from local roads, you know, those are your cul-de-sacs, your alleys, etc., up to the interstates. And then there's 7 categories for those that are interested. I'll report you some of that, but anyways. So those were presented to the committee today. And then last but not least, or certainly not, it wasn't even last, but it definitely wasn't least. We talked a little bit about our year in review in terms of how our dedicated funds were spent in fiscal year 25. The story is a little bit more of the same in Kentucky as it has been recently. That is the carryover balance that we carried forward of our largest funds. It has grown to a number that is pretty large. That number is now $145 million. That is $145 million being carried over from federal fiscal year that ended a month ago into the fiscal year we're in now, fiscal 26, for the SDBG program. As is typically the case, that every penny is programmed. Despite that carryover balance, it's up to us as local governments and regional governments to get our projects delivered and work with KYTC in that case to get those projects delivered. So that's something that's obviously high priority of KIPDA, and it sounds like it is of the TPC. Well, in Indiana, the story is different as usual. In Indiana, it's use it or lose it. And so last year we had a project in New Albany that didn't quite make it to the finish line, and thankfully allowed us to exchange funds. This year, we're going to have anyway, lot brighter picture. The Blackston Mill Road Bridge, also known as Bridge 51, that connects Clark County and Floyd County on Blackston Mill Road. That basically is the program in fiscal 26, and so that project is slated for a December construction meeting. So we should be in good shape this year. We had some other agenda items, but none were that meaningful. So happy to answer any questions about those or any things I mentioned earlier. That concludes my report.
Any questions? Then I entertain a motion to approve the Transportation Policy Committee report. Bowling, I have a second. Second. Any other questions? If none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Regional Transportation Council, item number 8.
Good afternoon. The KIPDA Regional Transportation Committee meeting was held at 1 p.m. today in the KIPDA Small Conference Room and on Zoom. The first agenda item was the August 28th Regional Transportation Committee meeting minutes. The next item was a public comment period. There was one public comment received by email regarding Shelby County Transportation that was shared with the committee. We had a guest speaker from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Andrew Logston, who spoke about the Wildlife Vehicle Collision Reduction Program. The committee made its annual review of goals and bylaws and approved 4 minor amendments to its goals. Members provided a report of county transportation updates. And in other business, members were briefed on grant opportunities. The next KIPDA Regional Transportation Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for February 26th at 1 p.m. at KIPDA. That concludes my report.
Any questions?
Comment on Shelbyville.
It was someone interested in more public transportation services and comparing it to Oldham County. So there's some discussion about that.
Any other questions? Then we'll entertain a motion to approve the Regional Transportation Council's report. I have that motion.
I'll make it.
Good. Second? Second. Any other questions? If none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Thank you, sir. Now we got in here, right?
We'll do.
Okay, we'll go ahead and jump back up to item number 6. And we have information from our Department of Local Government. Mr. Salves.
All
Sorry,
right,
I hate for you to run in and immediately get you at the podium.
apologize, are we already on item number 6? I did get stuck in traffic on 64, and when I left, it said I had plenty of time to get here, and my apologies to everybody for being late.
you're
So,
fine.
I am Matt Sawyers, I'm the Commissioner of Department for Local Government. Actually, I should have got here a little bit earlier, my wife works just up the road at a wine and spirits distributor. And I told her I was gonna be up here on Blankenbaker, and we could go have lunch or something, and she said, I think I'll work from home today. So, who's here from Indiana? Okay, so, it's good to see you all as well. I'll obviously be talking about mostly Kentucky stuff and what we do at our department. First off, I just want to say thank you to Jared for inviting me here, to speak. Really appreciate the work you do. You're, chair of the Council of Vets?
Yes, sir.
Correct, for this year? We work very closely with our area development districts. They do so much for us, our agencies, all of our constituents, our cities, counties, special districts, nonprofits, all the above. Tremendous amount of work that is not unappreciated by us or the governor. The governor very much understands the work that you all do, particularly in local governments who aren't as highly staffed. You know, a lot of people have great projects, great ideas, good things they want to do, but don't necessarily have the staff or know how to take advantage of some of the things that we can do at state and federal government. So really want to thank you all for all the work that you do, any of your staff members that are here. Real quick about the Department for Local Government. We are attached to the governor's office. We do some statutory programs, like we work with Judge Summers and Bullitt County and all the counties in Kentucky to make sure that they have balanced budgets. We also collect financial information and reports from cities and special districts, and that's kind of our statutory obligation. Then we also have a lot of state and federal programs that we administer, like the Community Development Block Grant for any non-entitlement community through Housing and Urban Development. We have the Land and Water Conservation Fund through the National Park Service, the Recreational Trails Program through Federal Highway Service. So we have the Appalachian Regional Commission. I don't think any of your all's counties are in the ERC region. We also do that, Delta Regional Authority. So we're a pass through for a lot of federal dollars. And then we also get a lot of line item appropriations from the General Assembly. So out of, we probably get 2/3 that go to your communities directly from the state budget, go through the Department for Local Government. And, there are various rules that we have to go by as you all administer your projects and submit those to us for application, and then going all the way forward through completion and monitoring. So our staff has been around, most of them are very experienced. I'm incredibly fortunate. I get to work with one of the best, most experienced staffs in all of state government. And we have a broad variety of different project types that we administer and hopefully work with you all on, because that's really what we're here to do, is work on your all's projects and work on the things that you all want to do. And then hopefully you all can connect with us in some way and we can be a conduit for your community to state and federal government. So even if it's not something that you're working on that falls within our department, we do try to have familiarity with the other state and federal programs that can hopefully help you all out. And like I said, I represent our wonderful staff, and our goal is to always be responsive. We want to make sure that we pick up the phone. We want to make sure that we return emails promptly. We want to make sure that we're out in the state. I tell our people all the time, there's very little that actually happens in Frankfurt that has to do with any of the stuff we do. So it's important for us to get out into the communities
to see the works being done on public infrastructure, public facilities, housing, trails. I mean, some of the most passionate, project managers that I've come across in my time in state government are on something as small as a $25,000 trail grant. So everything from that to a multi-dozens of millions of dollars cleaner water, brand new cleaner water system, you get people that are just equally as passionate about those things. So we want to try to treat all of your projects and all of your issues with the same level of concern. So if you do have something going on and we're not getting back to you, please let me know. We will address it immediately. So we also have a field staff that goes out all across the state and is your most immediate representative to the governor's office. It's different for each county, but for the most part, I think Angie Kane and Joe Williams probably have most of this region. But if you don't have those individuals' numbers and you'd like to know who they are, make sure that you reach out and get those to us, because we want to have somebody represented at your various council meetings, at any type of regional meeting that you have. We want to stay plugged in to what you have going on. So that we can, they can report back to us, and the governor really likes to share good news. He always says that, the more things that we can talk to people about that we're doing in a positive way, the less a lot of this negativity has an opportunity to get through. And so, the governor, the entire administration, and I think the legislature would say kind of the same thing, is that we do have a lot of great stuff going on in Kentucky and we want to promote it. So we want to work with you all to help you do a lot of that. Just a few things coming up. It's obviously going into a budget session. Jared, I don't know if you were able to be on the governor's call yesterday or not, but it will not be as rosy as the last couple of budget sessions. I was actually just off a budget call with the state budget director right before I came here. So we do have a fairly sizable rainy day fund in Kentucky, which is great, because probably the administration and the legislature will probably have to work together to make sure that we're still meeting all the needs of Kentuckians with recurring expenses. But the budget, we will probably be scaling back, at least on a state government level, and kind of going back to trimming our belts a little bit. We've had some really good years the last several years, particularly with federal and state investment, where we've had the opportunity to do a lot of really good work. I'm not saying that that won't continue, because it will, but if you have priorities, make sure you're talking with your legislators now. Make sure you're in front of them, explaining to them what's important, because when they write a budget, it's for 2 years. Very rarely do they come back and open it back up. So any of those line item projects that you want to see through, make sure you're talking to them now, because there's just going to be a little less room for them to operate as they have over the last couple of budget cycles. And of course, the governor's very concerned with the federal shutdown. That's nothing that any of us can do anything about, but there are concerns with SNAP, the TANF program, state reimbursements for those. That's above my pay grade. I don't really have any answers for anybody, but just thought it might make some sense to put it on your radar, since it was part of what the governor presented yesterday. And I was very happy to hear, I was out of the country last week, but I was very happy to hear that the governor was able to readjust some money to meet the needs of the senior meals program. I heard firsthand how important that is to all the area development districts when I was up at their retreat not long ago in Nashville Bridge and Red River Gorge. So trying to think, we have worked a lot on disaster recovery. Since I came back into state government, I was gone for a number of years. I worked for Governor Steve Beshear, his entire term. And that's where I kind of got my start in doing a lot of this stuff. Went out and did something different for a number of years, but then I really miss being in Kentucky and working with everybody across the state. That was just something that I kind of felt like that since I knew folks in the administration, I knew the governor, I really wanted to get back to doing it, because that's something that I loved. But just seeing all of the progress that has been made since the Great Recession all the way to now on how Kentucky has changed, the partnerships between Kentucky and Indiana, the brand new bridge out here, there's been a tremendous amount of progress made, and I just hope that, we don't lose sight of any of that. I was just speaking to a county judge earlier today about, he was concerned about all of the stuff that they are doing in a positive manner, some jealousies in the region. And we were talking about how important it is for the county to get along with the city, and for each county and city to get along with each other, because something that the area development districts very much understand is it takes a lot of planning, takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of patience, takes a lot of time to do the big things that we all want to do in Kentucky, but we can't do it when everybody's ahead at, butting heads all the time. So whatever that you all can do as a region to strengthen your region, make sure you're doing it together. We have to set aside who gets credit for what, whose idea is whose. If a new administration comes in one place, that doesn't mean the old administration's ideas were bad. That was one of the things I learned very early on, was when the Steve Beshear's administration came in. Governor Fletcher was the outgoing governor at the time, and we looked at a bunch of stuff they did, and instead of saying, throw it on scrap heap, our guy won the election, we should do what we want to do. We said, no, that's working. That's good, that's good, that's good. And so let's build on that. So that's kind of a motto that we use. We're all just kind of passing the baton to each other. And we want to make sure that we do what we can do to work for you, strengthen your communities, but ultimately leave everything in a better place to just pass the baton to whoever the folks that are coming in next. So if you all have any questions, I'll be happy to take them. Felt like I just came in hot and started going.
Any questions from anyone?
I just wanna thank Jarrett, and his staff, for working with Frankfurt on the senior meals. This, didn't just happen. Rocky and I were talking about it, and I know Jarrett, your staff has really worked hard on it. And I want to thank KIPDA and the staff for what they did. I know all of ours, the judges have been worried about that and worked very hard, and it was your input that helped us get there, and I thank you very much.
Well, thank you. If it wasn't for the council of that being as vocal and as alarmed as they were at the beginning, I think that we would have ultimately got to a resolution, but I don't think that would have happened quite as quickly. So your all's advocacy definitely did pay off.
Oh, that's great to hear. We appreciate the support of all the elected officials as we are advocating as well.
Okay, any other?
Commissioner? Hello?
Yes.
Judge?
That's okay, I just wanted to, thank you and your staff for your quick response on our requests. Especially for not only for budgeting, but for water, wastewater and grants. We were able to put together, 4 y'all's grants to run water up a 300-foot hill, to $2.1 million to folks that would never had the opportunity for. And with Jared, where you go, Justin Carter as well. We thank you all.
No, we appreciate you. That's awesome. The public does not understand how challenging it can be, particularly on those last mile projects, to get public utilities out. And that's one of the governor's favorite things to do. Is anytime somebody's able to turn on fresh, clean tap water for the first time, maybe ever in their lives. I mean, that's really significant to those people in your community, and it's not cheap.
No.
And it's not easy, and a lot of times it takes multiple grants to be able to do that. Real quick, that did lead me to one thing I want to say is also with Congress, we need ongoing support on disaster recovery money, because it's only a matter of time till our next flood. And I know you all deal with flooding issues up here, particularly close to the river, but in other places as well. It's not just in the hollers of eastern Kentucky where I'm from. It can be anywhere. And a lot of the money that we have spent to for long-term rebuilding has come from the federal government. And there's also a state program called the Local Match Participation Program, where we've been able, the governor just announced last week, we matched NRCS money to the tune of $118 million to help communities that have been impacted by the floods in the last few years buy back homes from individuals so that they can have flexibility to rehab where they were already living, or you can go someplace new. So I would just encourage you, if you think those programs like that are are valuable. Make sure you continue to express that support.
Thank you for coming today, and
Thank
also,
you.
at the area development district, it's essential for us to have a good relationship with DLG, so I want to thank you for helping cultivate that relationship.
Yeah, goes both ways, so I really appreciate your all's time. I'm gonna sit and listen.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll move on then with our agenda, and next item is item number 9, the Regional Water Management Council. All right, Justin.
Thank you, Chairman. Good afternoon, Board. The KIPDA Regional Water Management Council met here in the Burke Room in Bursley via Zoom on Tuesday, October 14th from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. John Brady with the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority joined us as one of our guest speakers that afternoon. He provided the Water Management Council with the KI update and some information about this year's state revolving fund loan call for projects. We also had Lori Dials and John Burlong with the Kentucky Division of Water join us as guest speakers as well. They presented about the state revolving fund loan guidance document that was released earlier this year and how there's been some changes in the scoring criteria for the drinking water and clean water state revolving fund loan applications. The council approved the fiscal year 2026 KIPDA Regional Clean and Drinking Water Project Priority Rankings. There are 33 clean water priority project rankings and 45 drinking water priority project rankings that are included in this year's rankings. Those projects can be found in your all's agenda packet on pages 33 through 43. The council also approved 4 new water projects and 7 new wastewater projects. These 11 new approved projects can be found on pages 44 through 48 on your agenda packet. A lot of these projects will also be going for state revolving fund loan funding consideration this year. If anyone has any questions about any of the rankings, those rankings were compiled by myself and my coworkers going out to each one of your all's respective counties and holding our county water management council meetings. In those meetings, we discuss all the projects, our priorities, and then we score those together with assistant directors. And then we combine those all together in an equitable way. So each county can have a project in their top 7 and so on. The Kentucky Infrastructure Authority and Division of Water have officially opened the state revolving fund call for projects. If any of counties or cities or system directors for any of our water or wastewater systems would like to submit any of those for fiscal year 2027 SRF funding consideration, please reach out to me and I will be happy to assist with bolstering your all's project profiles to make sure that we don't leave any points on the table this year when the Division of Water scores and ranks those. This process ensures projects are considered for the competitive low interest loans provided by the Clean Water State Revolving Fund and the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. And the deadline to submit those projects to our Community and Economic Development Division will be Friday, December 12th. So time is kind of essence of that because holidays moving in and everything. Everybody's out of the office sometimes. So if you have any projects that you would like to submit, please reach out to me, Felicia Harper, our Community and Economic Development Division Director, or Ryan Lord. The next KIPDA Regional Water Management Council meeting will be held here in person and via Zoom on Tuesday, January 13th, my birthday. I can't wait for that. At 1:30 p.m. This concludes my report. And like I said, action is requested on those rankings. If anyone has any questions about any of those priority project rankings or any new projects, I'll be happy to entertain those.
Any questions? Thank you, Justin.
Thank you,
Report.
Chairman.
This does require action. So, request a motion then to approve the Regional Water Management Council report. Motion, have a second. Any other questions? If none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None. Motion carried. Next item on our agenda is the ratification of the CED division contracts. Ms. Harp.
Thank you. I'm asking for ratification for a contract between KIPDA and Oldham County Fiscal Court. This is for KIPDA to administer FEMA funds that were distributed by the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management. These are funds from 2021 disaster recovery and flood mitigation assistance. And for the contract amount, we will be reimbursed at our staff costs. So action is requested.
Okay. Are there any questions?
Do I need to abstain on this vote?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
You got a motion? We have a second from Mr. Bowen. Any other questions? And we have one abstention, right? Okay. Any other questions?
Back since 2021,
Yes.
good Lord, I'll never get my money.
They're still working on 2017 and 2018.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
And the lady who was administering is retiring. So they asked, Oldham County asked if KIPDA to step in and help, so we're more than happy to.
Nothing happens quick with him.
Government
No.
moves so fast, don't they?
Any other questions? If none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, sign. Motion carried.
Abstain.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Okay.
Next, Felicia, you're up next. You got the comprehensive economic development strategy.
Yes, the SES committee met on Wednesday, October 15th, and approved a one-year update to the SES document. 30-day public comment period is now open through November 21st, and the SES plan is available on the KIPDA's website, so please go on there, review the plan, and if you'll have any comments, send them to myself or Ethan, and reach out with any questions. Changes made to the SEDS outside of the action plan goals includes update to the demographic information, language and economic data. The SEDS online dashboard is actually updated with the current 2023 ACS 5-year data. So there's a lot of good data that we have broken out by county on there. So if y'all haven't been to that website, we really encourage you to look at that dashboard. So after the 30-day comment period of 2025, the one-year update will be brought to you for approval in November to send to the economic development.
Any questions? Thank you very much for your report.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Next is item number 12, and it's the Grounds for Growth Council. Jennifer Wilson.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I have an update on KIPDA's Grounds for Growth program. This is the program that implements KIPDA's $1.5 million Brownfields Assessment Coalition grant from the EPA. This program assesses brownfield sites and makes plans for redevelopment. The Grounds for Growth Council held a quarterly meeting yesterday on October 22nd via Zoom. Here are some highlights from the first year of the program. In addition to many great technical accomplishments, 5 community outreach events were held around the region. 7 phase 1 environmental site assessments were completed, and the regional brownfield site inventory now has 66 sites in it. So the next step is we would like to request more site suggestions from all of you. Sites can be any property that might have any contamination, including lead paint or asbestos, which is really almost any property that has ever been previously developed and is presently underutilized or vacant. Please send suggestions to Felicia or to me at any time with property owner contact information if you have it. So does anybody have any questions? Great. Well, that concludes my report. No action is requested. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Next item on our agenda is 13, and that's open enrollment. Ms. Sanders, how are you today?
How are you? Open enrollment for the Connect program will start November 1st. And will run through the end of the year. There's 4 steps to prepare for our open enrollment through Connect plans that we suggest for people for 2026. And that's to know key dates such as November 1st, 2025 open enrollment beginning. December 15th is the date that you would need to choose a plan in order for coverage to start January 1st. And January 15th ending open enrollment completely. We ask that people know the needs. Do they have a preferred provider, doctor, or regular prescriptions that they take? And we'll help them work through those things in order to pick the appropriate plan. They want to make sure that they gather information and bring it to the appointment that they have with their connector. And just the fourth thing is also just making sure they talk to a connector. I've passed out to you our connectors for KIPDA in Jefferson County and the surrounding county. Any of those connectors can help somebody by phone or virtually, and they will regionally make an in-person appointment. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Next item on our agenda is item number 14, and this is the fiscal year 26 social service division business.
We're back up just a minute. I'm gonna speak about open enrollment for Medicare along with
go ahead.
KIPDA. Yes, open enrollment began this month, October the 15th. 1 month ago, we sent out approximately 5,000 letters to our clients, KIPDA clients, or anyone who has contacted KIPDA for support, notifying them that open enrollment was coming. To date, we are 1 week in, and we have served 83 beneficiaries who have needed a plan comparison. There are some notable changes coming for the 2026 year. The out-of-pocket maximum has risen for Part D prescription expenses. It's going to be now $2,100 versus the $2,000 for 2025. It is projected that the Part B premium is going to raise from $185 a month to $206 a month. So that will really affect some beneficiaries who are on such a limited income. Also beginning January 1, there is a 6-year pilot program beginning where original Medicare will have prior authorizations. This has never occurred before. This is something that occurs with Medicare Advantage plans. It's something to be mindful of because this can create barriers to care for some of our seniors. I just wanted to share that. I'm going to share our letter and form. Please feel free to take one. If you know someone who needs our assistance, they can call KIPDA and request to speak with a SHIP counselor, and we will do our best to answer any questions they may have or complete a plan comparison for them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and proceed with item number 14. And you have our social services report. Michelle, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. I have two items today on the agenda. So first, I'm going to ask for, I believe this is item 14 in your packet. Hope I got that number right. Thank you. After the initial conversation about meals and lack of funding, the Department for Aging and Independent Living did reach out to us and speak about the potential for moving our 3B funds, if we had any excess 3B, which is supportive service funds, to the C2 program, the home delivered meals program. We did in fact have some funds that we believe we can move, so we gave them an amount. We did put that before the executive committee. So I'm here today to actually ask for ratification of the executive committee, and thank you, executive committee, for always making things happen very quickly when we need them in social services. There always seems to be a very tight turnaround for us. But we would like to ratify that committee's authorization to reallocate $216,000 of Title IIIB federal funds to the CP program. That is still pending authorization, so Dale did send that to ACL for approval. We have not heard back from that one. And if approved, we would allow to add 100 participants back for home delivered meals program. There's no negative impact to the 3B services.
Any questions? Then I'll entertain a motion to approve, ratify the executive committee's approval to relocate the funds, correct?
Did I misspeak there? I'm sorry.
I was going back to that, I thought that we had received it, I guess we hadn't received approval from.
Yeah, they
ACL.
sent it to ACL for approval, but we have not received the. And due to what's happened recently that I'll talk about in a minute, that might not even go through. We like to have on the table to be considered, so.
Okay, all right. I think we had a motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carried.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, we have the Title III meals program update.
Yeah, so definitely I wanted to be back here in front of you all to give you an update on what has been happening since, and there's been a lot of things happening. So Jared and I made a tag team on this. Particular description, as you all know, when we met last month, we were talking about the funding reduction or the funding shortfall, excuse me. Trying to be very careful with my words these days. the funding shortfall for meals. And at that time, we did proceed, after the board meeting with removing the individuals from services due to that shortfall in funding. Since then, a lot of things have been occurring, and thank you to all of you all the local officials, to Jared, to the ad directors, for advocating for additional mill funding. And they continue to do so as we move forward. Louisville Metro was able to pick up a portion of that funding shortfall to have the clients in Jefferson County to continue to be served through the end of December. That's their predictions. They did do that. So no one in Jefferson County did have a gap in services. In our rural counties, we do have a gap in services with those individuals since October 6th. Important to note, if I haven't before, there is quite a few of those individuals get the board grant boxes that we have, the food boxes. So there's, the number of individuals on wait and the number of individuals get food food boxes. That's a tough one, 4 food boxes. So they do have some support. Keep rolling through. Legislative Oversight Committee met with the Department for Aging and Independent Living. If you haven't watched that, I suggest that you do. They did walk through what has happened over the past couple of years with funding in the meal program. Mr. Elkins, I think his first name is Greg Elkins, issued a letter requesting that the governor find those funds. And then we found out the same way everybody else did, that those funds were actually found, located, had this past Friday. And then this week, Jared has been meeting with several different organizations to talk about what that funding means for us. I'll let him walk through.
Yeah, I could speak to that. And just to Jessica's point, I met last Wednesday with Secretary Stack, and then on Friday afternoon, we received the notice that the funds had been reallocated. So the funding that the state budget director was able to work with cabinet and find money that had been earmarked for a Medicaid study. It was a $25 million general fund appropriation originally set aside for Medicaid reimbursement, rebasing efforts in fiscal year 26. That project did not move forward, so the administration, working with the legislature, agreed to move $9.1 million to the Senior Mills Program. We had a meeting with the governor on Monday to go through what that 9.1 would look like, and he encouraged us to come up with a way that allocation would be presented. So the 9.1, looking at it, especially after removing the clients, the KIPDA shortfall was going to be $1,538,011.05. Looking at that 9.1 million, it didn't completely eliminate the shortfall across the state. So going by percentage of the shortfall for each ads, we would be receiving with the proposal is $1,488,232.23. So leaving a shortfall just short of $50,000. So if we're able to use the Title III transfer that Jessica had asked for originally, that'll completely eliminate that shortfall. I've got a call with the commissioner at 4 o'clock today to get approval for this allocation. So hopefully by the end of the day, we will know for sure what our allocation is and we can start moving forward with the plan. If you want to kind of speak about how we'll move forward.
Thank you, sir. We're still discussing that, but I'll just give you a quick, kind of overview of where we are right now if we do indeed receive that funding. And obviously it changes a little bit if we do receive the funding from the 3B to 3C move from ACL. I think it's important to note that yes, we do have a C2 and a C1 deficit. We talked a little bit about that at the last meeting, the C1 deficit. I do believe they will be able to manage that out there, especially with our winter months coming. We kind of over project throughout the months to keep ourselves a little padding in there. The C2, to bring back everybody, our intent will be to bring back everyone that was formerly served on meals. Now, even if we do have a shortfall, still based on the funding, we can manage that as we go along, simply by not replacing individuals that do come off that program for whatever reason. There's multiple ways that we can do that. It does allow us to also keep one of the assessors that we were planning on taking off, because once we bring that number of people on, we will need them to do pre-assessments for those individuals. So without jinxing anything, I think we're looking good to be able to bring back those individuals we took off in each of the counties. Hopefully, I think, Jared, from what we've discussed, those funds, if allocated, approved and allocated the way that we've asked for them, should come to us mid-November-ish.
It should, it's gotta go before legislative committee. And then after that, they had a rush contract this week, which we went ahead and signed, so that contract modification's already been signed. Once we get the allocations, then that'll go before legislative oversight, and once it's approved, then we ought to receive those dollars.
Yeah, so we are looking at maybe, a month, a little over a month, and it does, help, and I wanna thank, Mayor Greenberg, especially for finding those funds, moving them around. So Metro will support at least that portion with those individuals, so it helps us to manage our funds a little bit more. So no definitive date yet, but mid-November, hopefully by Thanksgiving.
I think the one thing that's important to note, though, is moving forward, we have been very blessed with the support of the administration as well as the legislature with those historic investments where we have not had wait lists. We've been able, everybody that has come on and asked for a meal, we've been able to provide a meal to, but moving forward, we're gonna have to maintain a wait list. Speaking with the legislature, I think, moving into the next, biennium, they are gonna look to fund the program at level funding as opposed to adding new individuals. So our wait list is gonna continue to grow and we'll just be basically eliminating the wait list through attrition on our meal roster. So please know that there are people in your communities that are gonna be waitlisted while we're waiting to find them a spot to get meals.
Yeah, and just, being fully clear, we had a little over 100, I believe, waiting to be assessed, and that's not a huge number for us. We can get that many referrals in 1 month. Right now, we're probably looking at around 3 that are waiting to be assessed, so, and that number will continue to grow. And one other comment there, we are doing procurement this year as well. So, I wanna make sure you all are aware and factor in when you're thinking about this and you're advocating for us, that, our costs are likely to go up. So you realize how that will impact it as well.
And I think we have 7 or 8 other districts that are also gonna go through procurement. So you might hear about disparity in cost, but that's open RFP process through procurement. So it's basically what we get with the proposals that are received. So those are how the costs are determined.
Yeah. And we have room, to negotiate in there, but it's not a lot because, we look at those costs, we analyze them the way that we there, our RFPs. They demonstrate to us every single penny of what they're asking for and why. So we do our very best to make sure we obtain the lowest cost provider out there.
And looking at a congressional study, the C1 and C2 mill prices that we currently have are in line with what they were nationally in 2015. So also during that time, they showed how mill costs have way outpaced inflation. So we are in a good position with our costs compared to others based on that congressional study.
Any questions, I'm happy to take them now in my email, by my phone, however you'd like to ask them, but we are moving back in a positive direction.
Any questions? Okay,
And thank you all again for everything that you've done through this process.
thank you, Ms. Elkin. I'm sure we'll hear more on the subject.
Absolutely, I'll be on the agenda for a while.
All right. Next item on our agenda is the October personnel report, Ms. Agnew.
Good afternoon, everyone. So the personnel report for October, we have a new FMA enrollment and data specialist, Kelsey Baker. We have a new GIS specialist, Alex Gossman. Couple of departures. We have Mary Beth Mulligan, who's a Jefferson County connector. She left last week. And then we have Kathleen Kilberg, who's a support staff person, who is retiring at the end of this month after 15 years of service. So, well, replacing Kathy is Crystal Chisholm, who currently works in our administrative services department. She'll be transferring over, and she's been working with Kathy on the transition. We have 6 vacancies. You can see them in your packet. We have interviews scheduled with all but one of them. So we're moving forward on filling them. As always, our job postings can be found on our website. And our staff count is 82 full-time permanent, 2 part-time permanent, 1 full-time temporary, and 1 part-time.
Okay. Any questions? Need a motion to accept the October personnel report. Do I have that motion? Motion Bernie. Second. Thank you. Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Ms. Agnew.
Thank you.
Next, you are going to give us on the insurance brokerage services.
Yes, so Jared, Cheryl Vandiver, Alicia Russ, our fiscal officer and I began an RFP process for insurance broker services a few months ago. I want to say upfront, this is just for our brokers. We're not changing any benefits. We're not doing anything substantive with our plans. We did the RFP just for broker services. Currently, we have 4 different brokers to administer our benefits. This structure doesn't lend itself to efficiency, and it certainly doesn't leverage existing technology. So after reviewing applications and listening to presentations from 4 different brokers, we've selected the BIM group to administer our brokerage services. They have everything that we're looking for. They have access and influence to a variety of carriers, excellent customer service and technology that'll save not only me, but my colleagues' time. And they come highly recommended by Bluegrass ad as well. So I'm asking for approval to move our insurance brokerage services to the big leagues.
All right, so we have a motion then to move our insurance brokerage services. Do I have a motion? Try to have a second?
I'll make it.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? If none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Agnew. Next is the intergovernmental reviews. You have there any explanation there on that, Jared?
No, A through D, the 4 projects can be taken together. We've sent them out for comment and no objections have been made, so they can be approved together.
Okay. So I need a motion then to approve those governmental reviews, items A through D. Have that motion? Well, second, great. Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Next is the November annual meeting.
I just wanted to remind everybody, this was on the agenda last month, but next month's meeting will be the Tuesday prior to Thanksgiving, so November 25th, and we will be meeting for Jeffersonian, formerly the Jefferson Town Community Center, which is off Taylorsville Road by Veterans Park. At 9:30 will be the Transportation Policy Committee, 11 o'clock will be the Board of Directors meeting, and then once that adjourns, we'll have a lunch provided for everybody, so more information will be provided, but if you all could please, when we send it, just let us know if you're going to attend, so we have a head count for the list. But more information will be provided as we get closer.
Get primed up for Thanksgiving. Okay, all right. Thank you. And then nominating committee.
And with next month's meeting, the last meeting of the calendar year, we will have a nominating committee present the 2026 slate of KIPDA board officers. This year, the nominating committee will be chaired by Kevin Beatty from Clarksville, along with council members, Bernie Bowling from St. Matthews and Jack Couch from Trimble County. And again, they will present the slate of officers for next calendar year.
Okay, all right. And then you got the executive director's report.
Well, I'd like to welcome our 2 guests. Always good to be joined by James Victory with Congressman Guthrie's office. James, thanks for being here today. Anything you would like to share?
I guess just briefly, I mean, obviously, we've been in the shutdown for going on 24 days now with government shutdown. As far as the point of view from the House, this passed out of the House about a month and a half ago now. So we're really just waiting on our friends in the Senate to bring some sort of resolution to this. It is helpful for us though, especially with the program that you guys administer, just not keep us in the loop, and we'll give you any answers that we can. They're very few and slow to come to us as we request them, but as we've seen with some of the other regions that haven't happened here, we don't want to put folks that you're servicing in any sort of panic when it's unnecessary. And obviously, there's a lot of consternation around this, rightfully so. And the congressman would really like this just to come to an end today if possible, so we can kind of get back to business. But yeah, please hit us up with anything that you have as quickly as you have it, and we'll get you whatever answers we possibly can. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And also Stacey Rothway with Congressman Massey. Stacey, anything you'd like to share?
Basically kind of echo what James just said.
We have only, I think, gotten responses from about 3 agencies or departments when we've been reaching out. The rest of them, we just get the email response that they've been furloughed. But, you can contact us and we'll try to do what we can. I do want to say congratulations and thank you to Jarrett and Jessica and your team and the elected officials that, got that meal funding worked out. Just too many people rely on that and, definitely appreciate what you all did. And the FEMA funding. Can't guarantee that we can do anything, especially right now with the shutdown. But contact either of our offices, depending on where you live. And, we can try to open up an inquiry on behalf of a county or a city. Sometimes we have really good luck. We had one case where something had been sitting on somebody's desk for a couple of years. We opened up a case and they were like, oh, this has actually been approved, and we got it we got funding within 2 weeks, or the reimbursement within 2 weeks. Can't guarantee we can do that every time, for sure. But, you know, use your congressional and Senate, your House and Senate offices. That's what we're here for, so, we're happy to open up those inquiries and see if it will shake anything loose for you. So, I know you know that, but just a friendly reminder that that's what we're here to do.
Thank you, Stacy. There are no travel items for approval this month, and the meetings we just covered being at the Jeffersonian, so that concludes my report.
Does anyone have any other business or any other issues you want to bring up? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion. Motion, we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you all very much for your attendance. Those appreciated online and those that are here personally. You all have a great weekend coming up. Have a safe.